Hello and welcome to Tea Time, an entertainment news program where we bring you the latest and the biggest gist in showbiz and celebrity buzz. Happy Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim viewers. On the program today, it's not business as usual, as this morning we have a guest in the studio. But before we get to meet that guest, my name is Elsie Godwin and I'm here with Ife Oshoke.
What's up?
I'm alright, I think. How are you?
Happy Eid Mubarak.
Why did it look like you had that in your mind and it had to come out?
No, come on, man. It should be in everybody's minds today, considering the fact that that's the day of the
Do you want to know what's on my mind?
What, sleep?
Anyway, Jay-Z has made it to the point we were expecting.
Yes, Mama made it.
Yeah,
I think that's the point. The point we were
spoke about this. Was it early this year, late last year? When the last list came out, and I think he's making it before the next list stuff. So I think it's interesting. And looking at, it's taking me back to what we talked about the last time. So the fact that when you say somebody's rich in those parts of the world, they'll be able to give you a breakdown and say this is where their money is coming from, or this is what they invested in, this is how much they invested, and this is how much they are worth now. But I'm hoping we'll get to that point where we will be able to get that kind of analysis and breakdown when we're talking about our billionaires and millionaires in this part of the world. At least people will be able to learn. I mean, looking at Jay-Z now, you understand that he saw opportunities and kept on taking them.
But doesn't it surprise you that he's making more money from a champagne brand, which is Brainac or something like that? And
that shouldn't be surprising.
It's a $300 bottle. But who
he's
drinks
selling
that
the lifestyle.
Do you understand? Like,
it's the lifestyle.
It's just funny. No, I'm just saying. And then you know he has shares in Douze as well, another cognac.
He also has
brand.
shares in Uber.
Yeah, in Uber.
And I think that Uber own has to be one of the most foresighted decision he ever made, because I mean, he invested when he just started. It's not like he's been there and he decided to come and get shares, you know. And remember, he said after the initial investment, he wanted to add more. Then the owner no, this is not going to work.
You know?
Yeah.
And then the Tidal just gets him 100 million annually. So that's not like even close. So the remaining 900 million is
one
coming
getting him 75 million. I don't know if it's Rockefeller now.
Yeah, it's record label Rockefeller.
So I was surprised because I felt that would have brought in more. But
I think if you talk about Rock Nation, you would probably get him more. But Rockefeller is like a franchise on the Rock Nation, so it's So maybe Rock Nation may be fetching him more. I don't know the exact figure from Rock Nation, but I know definitely because he has a lot of people signed on the Rock Nation, and they're making loads of money.
All right, congratulations to Jay-Z. Okay, I think it's time to introduce our studio guest. He's a Nigerian, a Lagosian to be very precise, born to a family of 6. He started his music career in high school where he sang with the choir. His influence came from the wide collection of ancient Nigerian artists in his home, the likes of King Sunny Ade and Ebenezer Obey. He shot into the limelight in 2006 with his hit song, which became the national anthem at almost all weddings, titled Olomi. The inspirational singer has his fan base divided into two, the core gospel fan base and the general secular fan base, with singles like Letter Days featuring Waje, Soul Pharmacy featuring Lara George, Oro Lua featuring Kenny Black, Champion Love featuring Tiwa Savage, Memories, I Do, and Timba. Let's make welcome the passionate musician, Tosin Martins.
Wow. That was quite an introduction.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Good to have you here.
Same here. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm going to ask the same question almost everybody keeps asking. After Ulomi, Ulomi is like a national anthem, like I said, once it comes to the wedding, right?
It must be.
Why have we not seen another Ulomi from you?
I think I have tried to give you a lot of other Olomis. I think people just like Olomi. So I don't know what it is about the song. I've done Kosigi after that, which was with Ego. I think we shot the video for that in South Africa. And that was under Storm Records, I believe, at the time. Afterwards, as you mentioned in your list of songs I've done in my discography, I've done Champion Love with Tiwa Savage. That's about 4 years old now. So I think I've done quite a bit. There's Thank You. There's a Thank You remix with Banky and Jesse Jaggs. Quite a number of songs in that love wedding song.
But how does it make you feel 13 years after, and like you said, you still travel around the world to perform this very song?
Honestly, it's topsy-turvy. For me, it's interesting, but sometimes it's a bit limiting. Artistically, you want to express yourself a bit more, but
okay,
it's a blessing, it's not a curse. So thank God you have something people call you for. But more than that, anybody would love to do a bit more. So yeah.
All right, so would you say Olomi is the biggest moment in your career thus far?
With the clause thus far, maybe. But we're still alive.
You're still pushing.
And we're still soldiering on and doing more songs. So yes, I wouldn't say it's the biggest moment. I'll say it's the biggest moment so far. Well, it's the biggest event so far, the biggest song so far of all the acts that I've done.
There was an interview you avoided this question, and I hope you don't avoid it again. How much money
interview?
has Olomi generated for you?
Honestly, I can't tell you. You just hit the nail on the head when you were talking about Jay-Z's money and how they're able to track how people come to whatever stage they come on. I mean, come to on the richest best list. There's an audit bureau of circulation in Nigeria, which in my opinion may be a bit. They may not be doing a lot as far as our industry is concerned in terms of measuring, progress of each artist, each body of work. That's an issue. The artists themselves, your stream of income is a bit loose. Sometimes you get a bit from ringback tone, sometimes you get a bit from CD sales, sometimes you get a bit from the majority of, or the bulk of our money comes from events. So it's patronage. People really don't call you, you don't make as much money unless your song then gets the kind of rotation where downloads are that massive. You're talking about 30 million, 60 million. That's more in this era compared to the time when we started. And those who are older than my generation, it wasn't this coordinated. So honestly, I can't say this is how much.
Okay, so let's put it this way.
But I know it's afforded me the most exposure, the most opportunity to earn. That's
so let's put it this way. If my wedding is on Saturday,
absolutely,
and I need you to come and perform Olomi, how much would you charge me?
Okay, that's off record. I don't know.
No, come on. Okay, give us an estimate. The least you would take.
It's in the 7 figures, but because for my kind of act, I come with the bells and the whistles. I'm going to come with a band of people who are professionals and must earn, and then there's a standard you expect. And also, once I appear at your wedding, I'm more often than not always inundated with requests to do more than just one song. So the complement of the band and being able to express yourself beyond just that one song, which was the basis for which they invited you, but they usually want more in terms of the performance, would require that you compensate all the talent who are involved in creating that more than usual. So that's really what it is.
All right, so when we're talking about Jay-Z, you touched on the fact that we've not been able to do a lot in terms of keeping track of how you make income. And I know royalties is something that's very important to every artistic person, especially when you're putting in your intellectual property and all that. And Two-Face was vocal recently about COSON, insinuating that they are a scam and their license has expired and they're not getting royalties due. And I know Olomi is one song that is still getting airplay, still getting played at public places. So would you say you get enough royalties from COSON?
I would say I don't even get any royalties as far as I know, not to talk of enough.
But are you registered under them?
Yes. Okay. At the point it was MCSN, now it's COSON. By proxy, being I had a relationship with Storm Records when it was in existence. By proxy, that's the platform they were attached to and therefore carried over all their artists onto that platform. And let's not forget, COSON, MCSN, whichever other ones exist, these are two major ones we know, are collecting societies, or if you prefer, collection societies, on behalf of talents and their labels and whatever platform supports them. And we shouldn't mistake that for any other thing. And when they collect monies on behalf of talents, the money actually belongs to talent. So the process of collection just requires a bit of an administration fee, some percentage, tiny percentage they take off. The issue we have is there's no declaration. Many of these monies are collected from sources and from from channels that are not visible or known to even the talent or the platforms that own the talent. So most times they can easily sit over it and be quiet about it. You probably have some millions somewhere you're not even aware of, because the people who want to use your music are varied and vast. And they're not just in Nigeria, they're probably all over the world. So they just need to do a bit more in terms of being open and transparent about what channels they have access to, the platforms on which they get money, for whom they get these monies, and then create a portal where everybody can go on and track and see, so that even if monies are due to you, it's there for you to come and claim, and you know where to go. Okay. But when you don't have such an open system, that's not and thank God for technology. You can track these things if you are available online. So the fact of that not even being available, they don't even have a published record of how many artists they represent as a collecting society. That's already a problem. How many labels do you represent as a collecting society? That's already a problem. So I'm not surprised that Two-Face will come out to call them out in that form, because the reality is a lot of artists are being ripped off. That's the truth.
Okay, so you seem very...
Before you ask the next question, it's time for a quick break.
Okay.
The conversation with Tosin Martins continues right after this break.
You're watching Plus TV Africa, and this is Tea Time.
I loved the energy when I came in here. It was so positive. I was like, I can live here.
My real names are Akbofiofobo, Akborubomemere.
I think my father is a comedian, because most times when he calls me, he's like, yo, make sure you use condom, you know, them girls out there.
So are you telling me I should have shot my shots?
Ife, you have a younger brother.
Age is nothing but a number. What? I'm a vampire.
I believe in equal rights for women, and I also believe that a man is the head of the house, so we need to draw our limits somewhere.
It feels so good. Now can I do my jam now?
Yeah, you can. Welcome back. You're watching Tea Time right here on Plus TV Africa, and we're carrying on with our conversation with Tosin Martins. If before we went on the break, you were going to...
Yes. So you seemed very passionate, about the whole COSON thing and not getting your... But I see it as your right, your entitlement. And you spoke about COSON not even having a portal or not being able to keep track. Now, what are you, as a creative, knowing it's your right, and your colleagues, what are you guys doing about it to make sure that things are put in place? Or are you saying there's a form of politics that doesn't give you the voice or the chance to speak or do something about it?
No, I mean, you can, as I said, this is the era of social media. You've just alluded to, I mean, you've just pointed out one person who's called out the organization to say, look, we don't seem to be getting whatever it is you're collecting on behalf of the artist.
He seems to be the only one.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure about that. To be fair, the truth is, it makes news when it is a Two-Face. Exactly. If a GT, the guitar man, says something, would you even know? Exactly. You would probably...
No, I think if a GT, the guitar man, says something about COSON, to get an attention.
Yeah, I'm not saying it may not... The point I'm making is, depending on how big your following and platform is on social media, because that's where he did it. So I'm alluding purely to social media. I'm not trying to speak about the credibility or reach of any artist in the strict sense. I'm saying as far as social media strictly is concerned, if there are certain people who may make a call that may not generate the kind of attention a Two-Face, a Tiwa Savage.
Well, like you first said, this is not a one-man issue.
No,
creatives in Nigeria are so many.
And so the point
why can't these creatives come together and say, this is a voice, whether it's a protest, a sit-down talk, check the policies, what is our rights, you know?
So the point I'm making is that is happening in pockets of little fires.
Okay.
So you just need that fuel.
Can you give us examples of those little fires?
I mean, I am aware for the longest time, somebody like Sonny Neji has been in the forefront of ensuring, even Two-Face's manager, Ifemoribe, has been talking about it. It helps, as I said, when certain frontline, more widely celebrated artists lend a voice to those kinds of causes, because usually they are the ones who are benefiting personally from so many other platforms. They really don't care. I mean, I go to a show
in the long run, then they
one
understand.
evening, I have maybe 2, 3, 4 events, and from each I'm getting 5, 10 million. I'm not worrying about somebody who's collecting 200,000 naira, or even if it's accumulated to 100 million. I probably don't, pay any attention. But it's until there's probably a lull and things are not as, then everybody's okay, you know what, where are all the sources? Let's check what's happening. It's the dry season. Let's make sure we're monitoring the money. So I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just telling you, usually that's when people feel a bit more of the pinch and the need to support the cause. So yes, some will drive it, some will support it, but trust me, I think that there are a number of people who are.
Okay, let's talk about your fan base.
Yeah.
You categorically said you have 2 different fan bases, or your fan base can be described set in 2 categories.
I don't know if I said it. The industry seems to say it.
And you said some are the gospel ones and some are in tune with your secular music. And then you were explaining the fact that you are just one person, that a secular musician cannot be stopped from practicing their religion or practicing their faith. I want you to elaborate on that. Have you gotten to a situation where people just look at you and say, this man is not Christian enough? I mean, we are hypocritical in this part of the world, so yeah.
Well, that may be a bit of a generalization. Honestly speaking, at the outset, it was a bit of a dilemma because I represented a bit of a rare type of artist who came on board, got popular for a love song, which is a subject that appeals and applies to everybody. But then I am so visibly and frontally Christian. And I have a body of work that involves and includes gospel songs. So naturally the audience is thinking, guy, which one are you? Are you a gospel artist? Or we like that, we need that box. We need to be able to classify you. And I understand that professionally because people want to say you're an adult contemporary artist, you're a jazz artist, you're this, you're that. But all over the world, we've seen artists who express themselves in more ways than one because their peculiar orientation and experience in music, they were vast enough. I grew up listening to all kinds of music. I can't do anything about being inspired to express myself in those things, but there's a core value that runs through whatever kind of music I sing. So if I'm singing a love song, it's a love song, it's not a sex song. If I'm singing a gospel song, I'm trying to share my faith with those as many people as possible to let you know this is what makes my life tick. If I'm singing a song about Nigeria, I'm a citizen of Nigeria. I'm concerned about what's going on in the country. So I sang a song called Made in Nigeria as far back as 2004, 2005, before everybody now started taking Made in Nigeria to make money. I sang it when it was not the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel I sang Welcome to Lagos 10 years ago. Before it was the advent of Lagos 50th anniversary, when everybody now started creating a Lagos song quickly to be able to get the government to give them some money. So those things for me are not a racket. It's the social commentary. There's your faith, there's your life. I'm a married man, I have a wife, I can express my feelings. I just never felt that for anybody, Christian, Muslim, whatever you are, or whatever you believe, that you should be restricted purely to singing or expressing yourself artistically in that mode. You should be able to, you are a living person, an organism that has many realities to yourself. You should use your art to share that with everybody. And similarly, the industry thinks that divides your audience, but I can't help it.
Because I was going to ask
before you do that, sorry, we need to go on a quick break. Okay. But when we come back, I need him to classify his sound, even if you won't classify the music. We'll be right back.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them.
No talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
Welcome back. This is Plus TV Africa, and we are still on Tea Time, chatting with Tosin Martins. Okay, before that break, I said I wanted to find out your sound. How would you classify it?
I think my sound is essentially African. It's very experimental, and it's crossover. Those are probably the best words I can employ to explain it. And I usually like to leave it to the audience to tell what they're feeling. I mean, recently I took a subject like death, something people usually don't want to talk about, and I looked at love from that perspective. Because all the love songs we sing usually cater to those who are here. What do you do with men, women, whoever, who on Valentine's Day have lost their husbands and their wives and whoever they love? What do you do to them or do with them? Artistically speaking, musically speaking. So I thought to sing to that and not look at it from that very bemoaning, sorrowful perspective. I looked at it from the point of the memories. And I was trying to play it from the perspective of a flick. If you watch a movie, there are points in the movie you love, but you can't stop the movie and pause at that point. You must let the whole thing play. You can't keep going back to the part you love. What makes the story, what makes the movie is the entire story. Yeah, so it's the memories, it's not the story, really. And those are the kinds of things I like to always play with. What everybody may think, no, don't go there. But
now, the fact that you can be boxed into either secular musician, a love song, inspirational, gospel.
Do you think sound safe? He doesn't want to be boxed.
Do you think that has affected your career in any way?
Yes, honestly speaking, I think it has. I think it has.
And would you also say that marriage and the responsibility of being a father has also affected your career in any way?
I think that affects everybody's life. That's not me. That's just the reality of life. The fact that becomes priority.
So, in saying that it has affected your career, not being able to be boxed into a particular genre, how would you say that it has affected your career?
Yeah, because then typically the audience can be very, very, very unforgiving. Our first experience of you was Olomi. And the first question you asked, why haven't you given us another? So just keep giving us that. That's what we know and love you for. Yeah, but I wish inspiration works like that. Because what made you like Olomi was the fact that it was truly inspired. If I concocted it and just played it up, you can tell it's cheesy and it's just cocky. It's just this guy trying to milk an experience we have latched onto. And I did my best to be as, as true to that as much as I've been able. I can and I could at the time. I've done songs afterwards. I think it just so happened in the mind of the media, maybe Tosin stopped singing love songs. When maybe what followed was probably a song about Nigeria, a gospel song, and for them, we like it, but don't you have another one like that one? So they didn't pay attention to those other songs. If they had done that, the brand and the name would have stayed in the consciousness of the audience so that when the next love song like that comes, they would have caught onto it. But because they switched off, waiting for that, even when that came, you don't know. You'd be surprised that people who don't know I have a song with Tiwa Savage. I have a song. All the songs I've mentioned today, that people who don't know I have those songs.
Okay, I would like you. We're getting to the point where you have to sing for us. You're not expecting that. But what is the structure around your music business? Because I noticed that searching for your music online, you do not. There are some songs you mentioned that I can tell you I did not find them.
Okay.
Right. So what is the structure around your music business?
Well, the structure around my music business is pretty much the same one everybody has. You go to digital stores, you find my song. I'm not big on I think what you're talking about is the typical download the song system. I'm not big on that. Except on the day of release, typical social media day of release. Then we make the song available for free download just for promotional purposes. But once it's off that point, you have to go to the stores to buy. So if you are not if you don't go to iTunes to buy, if you don't go to maybe Amazon, and so most times when I hear people say we can't find your song, it's because you are not buying my song.
So do you make a lot of money from digital sales?
Well, fair enough. I don't. To be honest with you, I'm terrible at that. I don't follow that. I just know I get what I get.
Which is why I was asking, what is the structure?
No, that's the structure. The structure is it's available for you if you are buying. That's the structure, honestly. I know the popular structure is make it available for free download.
Even on YouTube, it's...
On YouTube, no, I don't think that's true. On YouTube, you find all my songs. There's not one of my songs you're not going to find, at least on my channel. And if there are some of my songs you can't find on my channel, maybe those are the first set of songs on my first album. Of course, we didn't do videos for all of them, so you probably may not find that, but definitely you're going to find Olomi, you're going to find Made in Nigeria, you're going to find Happy Day, the Apala song, you're going to find, I mean, you will. Even I Do that we just did, Memories we just did, the song with Kenny Black, which is the current release. That's you mentioned it, so you know it's there. That's Orolua. That's it's there.
Okay, I think it's time for you to sing.
Yes, I think this interview won't be complete without a rendition.
Okay. I want to Olomi.
Olomi.
You see,
yes.
see what they do.
He was going to sing something else.
Exactly.
Okay, something else.
Hey, you want to sing Olomi again?
Let's do something else. You know.
What do I sing for you? It can be a lot for me. I don't know. Unless you help me, give me one thing I should sing.
Orolua.
I should sing Orolua. Okay.
You can mix like two.
Okay.
Real quick.
You can switch from Olomi to Orolua.
You just want Olomi. Okay, you can switch from Orolua to Olomi.
Ọlọ́run ọ̀rọ̀ asọ̀rọ̀ máa yẹ kó parọ́ rí bó bá ti wí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ní rí. Ẹni sọ̀rí tinú nítorí ọjọ́ pípẹ́ rántí pọ́ba tó ṣèlérí lọ́lọ́jọ́. Ọ̀rọ̀ Olúwa o ẹ̀dẹ́ ní ẹ̀dẹ́ ẹ̀dẹ́. Mo lọ́rọ̀ Olúwa o ẹ̀dẹ́ ní ẹ̀dẹ́ ẹ̀dẹ́. Bí òṣè lówùrọ̀ ó di dandan àṣẹ lọ́jọ́ alẹ́. Mo rohun tó dùn, mo rẹ́rìn.
Okay, I think that's how we wrap up on Tea Time on this episode. Join us later for fresh episodes of the program. Until then, thank you as always goes to my co-anchor Ife Oshokaye, and of course the studio guests. Thank you for being here. Also shout out to all the production team. Thank you. My name is Elsie Godwin saying thank you for watching.